What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, everybody? Everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ravens Roundup. Today is April 1st, aka April Fools. I haven't had any April Fools joke today, so I guess that's a sign of me getting old. Nobody even tried one. We here. April Fool. Thought we wasn't gonna be here. Bryden, maybe that was an April Fool joke. He just chimed in. He normally the first one here. I guess maybe somebody did play April Fool joke on me. I didn't think B was gonna be here. He popped in as soon as we went live. So I guess somebody did April Fool me. I spoke too soon. I got by B. What's good, everybody? How was your weekend?
It's cool. Busy, but cool.
The weekend was in Virginia. Just got back today. Good.
Max Hedrick. Everybody we had Easter yesterday. I had a good Easter church service and good Easter fellowship with some friends. That was always good to have, and family, and that was good to see. So first off, Mike's on the road, so be safe on the road, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Take care of your good passengers. I'm sure you got some good passengers with you, and safe travels and whatnot. Salute to everybody. I've been slipping the past couple of times. I ain't slipping today, Jose. I'm back with my chalice.
Toast
to everybody.
Right. Let's get that right.
I'm on my healthy Stone Cold shit today. yeah. They see. There you go, Hendo.
I'm half healthy.
I'm trying. Listen, everybody in the chat. All right, you need to get you one of these while it's the off season, okay? Because it's been tumultuous times. With the O-line, but still have faith. Okay. Every time we have a victory, we're gonna toast. Yep. Okay. You need to get you one of these chalices. Where can they get one of these, Coach?
Hey, patreon.com/sip-the-talent. Now I'm gonna tell you what, and since Osmond's here, I'm gonna tell you, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Osmond. Osmond sent me a message when he got hit. Osmond is the latest one to get his chalice. He sent me a message once he got it. He says, man, he feels like a real part of the roundup now that he has his chalice. And I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact, but I'm paraphrasing. He says he feels like a real part of the crew now that he received this chalice. And that's what it feels like. So when we toast, he can toast at home and you can toast at home and everybody that has one can toast at home. And it really fire on Mondays after a victory.
You know what we need to start doing, Coach?
What's that?
On Victory Mondays, we need people to send us a picture of them holding up the chalice so we can so they can toast with us on Monday.
Right. You know what? We can take it a step further. Take a step further. So if you're a Patreon and you have a chalice, we can put you in here for a hot 15 seconds to toast with us. If you want to go that far.
Yeah.
We can have like the first 3 to 5 minutes of the thing. We can do our toast to, like, if we beat the Steelers or whatever, toast, cheers, whatever. And, then we toast and get you up out of here.
I like that. So
now we saying it now. So don't be like, oh, I got one more. I got to quit. Nope, we're not doing it. We're gonna come in here and be like, hey, cheers to. We're gonna get everybody in, give everybody a chance to get in. We're like, cheers to beating the crap out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Salute, sip, and I'm gonna start hitting the button.
And it'll be out.
Peace out.
So no, while I got you, let me ask you. No. Go ahead. Just tell you now. Forehand. So you won't say we tripping and yada yada yada, whatever. Just forehand. But if you're a patron and you want to participate in that, we'll figure out a way to kind of get that out there to you and go from there. All right. But if you don't have one, don't try it. We're gonna. I'll see you in the bottom. I'll make you hold up your cup before I even put you on the screen. So that's how that's gonna work. But that's a great idea. But let's kind of get into the show because this is the roundup, but also it's like a watch party too for the Final Four. I mean Elite Eight. I'm sorry, for the Elite Eight. So it's kind of we got 2 things going at once. For me, it's 3 things going because I'm here. Got the watch party going with the Elite Eight, and I'm watching my sorry but Mets who ain't won a darn game yet. unlike y'all Orioles who smoking folks.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right. But let's get started with the Baltimore Ravens. First on the docket. All right, so I saw this article and it says, and the Hendo, you're gonna laugh at this. You might have saw it too. John Harbaugh expects a breakout year for David Ojabo. First question, do you see that happening? And before you answer, the second question is, who do you see having a breakout year for the Baltimore Ravens, whether it be offensively or defensively? So the first question is, do you see a breakout year happening for Ojabo? And whether you answer yes or no, who do you see having a breakout year for the Baltimore Ravens?
Ojabo's going to have a breakout year if he plays more than 2 games. The bar's real low for Ojabo. So
I kind of do. I kind of see him having a breakout year. I mean, obviously he didn't get a lot of action. Looked good in the little action that he got. I mean, he was a fairly highly touted prospect. I think just injuries just was unfortunate for him. Yeah, I can see him having a breakout. I can see Owe having a breakout year too. Let the young guys play, and I think they'll do all right. Are they going to be great? I don't think I don't project anybody to be great, but I think they could be pretty good.
All right, first, so B made a good point. And I know he was kind of trolling a little bit, but he may have been trying to tell the truth. It's hard to tell with B. His poker face is excellent.
Impeccable.
His poker face is impeccable. So, breakout year for Ojabo. Would it be actually playing 8 games, or would it be something like maybe like 7 or 8 sacks?
8 games.
I can see 8 sacks, 7 8 sacks, if you let him play.
Well, nobody's stopping him from playing but his body so far.
Yeah, but I mean, if they decide to go out and get some veterans,
we got to. Who we got at the age?
Whoever's left over. I mean, we got
Malik. Ojabo.
Free agency hasn't started for us yet.
Davis Robinson.
We don't get cooking until the second round, baby. So we gotta see who gets cut.
We got Malik, we got Owe, and we got Ojabo
Robinson and
Tavius Robinson.
Yeah.
So it's technically it's gonna be 2 more people that make the 53 in that spot. Now we don't know where them 2 gonna come from, whether it's draft or free agency when it starts or wherever. But technically it's gonna be 2 more people at that edge spot. So I guess him playing 8 games and maybe getting 5 sacks will be breakout for him. What you think about it, Chris?
Yeah, I think B is right. You got to stay healthy first before we could, talk about any kind of breakout for him. Staying healthy would be the breakout. Like if it's this time next year and we're like, oh yeah, he played the whole season. It's like, oh damn, that's great. That's a step in the right direction. But he's got to stay healthy. I mean, he has physical ability when he's played. I mean, in the limited snaps, I mean, he's shown a little something. It's not like he's just been, completely ghost when he's actually had some snaps. Like he's had some impact plays. So I give him that, but it doesn't matter if you're not healthy.
And what about do you have a breakout player other than him?
Well, he's definitely not my breakout player, but I'm gonna say I'm agree with Jose with Owe. I think Owe had a good year last year. The injuries definitely derailed that, but I thought he had a good year. He was solid. I think he's on the cusp of really becoming consistent. There's little flashes here and there. It's obviously not where you want it to be, but neither was Judon, neither was Darius Smith. And not saying that he's going to become those players, because those dudes became, defensive player of the year candidates. So definitely not putting that on him. But being an edge rusher is not like everybody's not Micah Parsons. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time. But other than him, I'm gonna say Travis Jones. I think he was very close on this year on making some huge impact plays, and it's always those players that's close. Like last year, Brandon Stevens was close. Like he wasn't getting there were plays that he would give up, and he would just be like a centimeter away from making the play. And I feel like that was Travis Jones this year. He was just like a centimeter from making some huge, huge plays. And I think that's what you want to see when you talk about breakout players, is those guys that are close.
B, you said Ojabo, him playing more games would be like his breakout. Do you have a guy that you think would be like a breakout player for the Ravens?
I mean, I got to see the rest of the roster before I can pick a breakout player. As of right now, I would honestly pick either Isaiah Likely or if they drafted another receiver in third round, second or third round or something like that. But I don't really. I mean, there's nobody on the roster right now who kind of jumps out at me as a breakout player, unless Keaton Mitchell comes back healthy and really ready to go and plays the majority of the season. Then I would say Keaton Mitchell.
That's a guy I was thinking, but I don't think he's gonna be back till like halfway through the season. That's a guy that popped in my head when I wrote the question down. And that's just me thinking that. I don't, he may have a miracle ACL and be ready to game 4 or some crap, but that was just me thinking. That was the guy I was thinking about, but I got you. Hendo, have you answered yet?
No. At first I was going to say Owe was going to be a breakout player, but then I thought about it sitting here listening to you guys talk because I think Owe is going to do what he's done, 5-6 sacks, be a steady player. I'm actually going to say, even though when I first saw the article, I think I fell out my chair and I started laughing, and I'm like, what? But what is the coach supposed to say?
Right.
Yeah, what is he supposed to say? And then I actually thought about it, and yes, he's going to have a breakout season this year. And going back a couple of years, I had a trajectory for David Ojabo. I said he's going to be hurt his first year. He's going to re-injure himself his second year. He's going to play semi-decent his third year. And then he's going to price himself out of Baltimore his fourth year. So I think Ojabo is going to be that breakout player. He'll probably get about 3 or 4 sacks, maybe play about 13 games. And then next season, he'll ball out and go somewhere else.
Cool. So I didn't have a 2-part answer, but I do have it now that B kind of initially set the tone. I do think he's going to play more games. So if we're going to go on a game standpoint, I think if games is the part of the measurement, I think he'll have a breakout for games. Sack wise, I just think he's going to be a body getting his feet wet. I don't see no more than 2 or 3 sacks at the most. I think he's going to be learning the game because he'll just now be getting real NFL reps. Because this year, I think Ojabo learned the game because he was healthy for the majority of the year, and you see he kind of looked better, playing the game. Owe. He looked better playing the game. So I think next year Owe will be better. So I think this will be that. And I hate to say it, this is his 3rd year. If he stays healthy, this will quote unquote be his rookie year. Unfortunately. So I don't think he's gonna be a breakout player. But my breakout player is, and Hendo, this is really gonna throw you off. I think he's gonna be our boy from Ole Miss.
I was gonna name him.
I think it's gonna be Tavius Robinson.
I was gonna name him.
From looking like a piece of cow manure in the preseason,
he progressed.
He stepped up.
He really did progress. And did he have numbers? No. But just seeing him work tackles and even just to get pressures and be a functioning part of the defense was a long way from what he looked like in the preseason. And I think, with what's Chuck Smith, that's the pass rush special. With him staying, that's going to only help those guys up front, get better. So I look for Robinson to be a guy that maybe push 7, 8, maybe even 9 sacks. Especially depending on who they bring in.
Y'all gonna sign a couple of 37-year-olds and he ain't even gonna see the field.
That's what I'm worried about.
You know what, B? I ain't gonna even argue because that's a huge piece of the pie. Because if we do that, what I just said will be null and void. It's a possibility that we do that. Because they're gonna feel like okay, we signed this dude, we gotta let them play.
But see, that's why I'm wearing the shirt today. Hashtag defund the defense. Stop spending money on the defense and let the young guys play. I feel good about a lot of these guys. Tavius Robinson, Owe, Ojabo, Stevens obviously played well. Even Trenton Simpson.
Stevens got a little bonus today. I don't know if y'all saw it or not. That same list that Meg the Simpson led the league in, like that bonus list.
Oh yeah,
Stevens was on that list too.
Stevens got an extra $120,000.
Meg Simpson almost got an extra meal. Almost an extra meal. Yep.
Okay.
That kind of
But
kind of
the
surprising.
thing is, they say it was on performance, but it wasn't on performance. It was on snaps.
It
was
could
on
have been.
snaps.
Yeah, because I think they use game started and snaps played.
Yeah, it was on mostly started and snaps.
But how? Well, I guess it has to be because how could Brock Purdy only get 700,000?
Which is crazy.
That's exactly
Because he was by far the best player on that list.
Because they know Brock Purdy a fraud.
A terrible thing to say.
They know Brock Purdy ain't that dude.
But to your coach point, coach, I think the one thing that's going to separate Robinson from Ojabo is he has actual game experience.
Mm-hmm.
He's played throughout the whole season, and he's been in situations where Ojabo, he's only played about 50 snaps in his career. So in that aspect, I think he has a leg up going into season. Thanks.
Right. That we talked about that last week, Chris.
Yeah, he's going to come into the season. I mean, I'm sure he thought I'm mid-round pick, I'm behind vets, I'm probably not going to get any burn. And to come in, struggle like Coach said early on, and then carve out a nice little rotational role. I mean, that's huge for mid-round picks confidence, and then to come in the season with, I mean, as of right now, it looks like he's going to have a bigger role. So I mean, that's it definitely works in the favor of the player when coming in like that over someone who's been injured 2 years in a row.
Thanks.
He played 338 snaps last year. Let me see if I can do Ojabo's total
for his career.
You can populate. There it is. Ojabo's total is. Gonna give me a total. Last year, Ojabo played 83, but it won't populate the total. It's just spinning. So he didn't play year before that, did it?
Right, sure. Oh wait, no, the end of the year. Remember, he got a strip sack against the Bengals.
Let's see if it give me 22 and 2. Oh, 23. So 23 and 83. That's 106. So we got 106 in 2 years, and Trent and Robinson got 383 in 1 year. That's he got 3. Robinson has 3 times the experience as David Ojabo. I'm sorry. Which is wow. But we'll see. Now, one more thing about Ojabo. I want to know how well or how good he'll perform without said Aiden Hutchinson on the other side. Because initially I thought Aiden Hutchinson was overrated. Initially I did. I was wrong. Aiden Hutchinson was not overrated.
Beast.
I thought he was just a motor guy that just got effort sacks. He is not that. He is not that. So everybody went around one time on that one. Good. All right. Let's go to question number 2. All right. Question number 2. And this is from another article I saw. And it says EDC feels, air quotes, really good about where the defense is for 2024. Question, do you feel that way? And if you do not, what do the defense need to do to get right to make you feel good going into 2024?
Yeah, I feel
good about what the defense is. It's just not going to be as good as last year, but they'll still be good.
Yeah, I agree.
They'll still be. I assume they'll still be a near one of the top units, a top 10 type defense, but they're not going to be dominant like last season.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, my bad. If they had Mike McDonald, I feel a lot better, but they don't. But they got Zach Orr, who's been a part of the program, been with Mike McDonald, so it shouldn't be a drastic change like we've seen with some of the changes that they've had, like when they've gone to being ultra aggressive to going to DMPs, one of those kind of situations. So I don't think it's going to be that drastic of a change. And a lot of the big names and a lot of the big impact players are still there. So I don't see it being a big fall off. But like B said, it's definitely not going to be what it was last year.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. It's not going to be the same, but I'm not worried about the defense at all. If you look at the defensive changes since 2019, every year we've had turnover, and especially after 2019. Defense has still been the same, still giving up an average of 13.9 points in the playoffs. And you got to look at it. We have high draft picks everywhere. We got a 3rd round pick leading the defensive line. We got a first round pick leading the linebackers, first round pick leading cornerbacks, first round pick leading the safeties. So we have the talent there.
I have a question.
What's up?
That third round pick lead the defensive line. Is that Travis Jones?
He might be doing something.
We believe he is.
Okay.
His fan base does.
I just was asking a question. That's all.
What round was Matabike drafted?
It better be the dude you just gave $20 million a year to.
That was a joke.
so yeah, listen, and just even throughout the years, even through the lean years without Ray Lewis and before Lamar Jackson, the defense has been okay. Like we've been all right with different defensive coordinators. Yes, losing Mike McDonald is big because I think from year 1 to year 2, his end game adjustments has just been outstanding. Mm-hmm. Like him going tat for tat with offensive coordinators, he's really done his thing. Now we have yet to see what Zach Orr can do, but we have a structure as an organization defensively. That's why I'm not worried about it. That's why when we get on here and we talk about the Ravens, we don't say a lot about the defense because the defense is set. So I'm not worried about them at all. It's about getting this offense right.
Anybody else on the defense?
Yeah. No, like EDC has to say he has all the faith in him. That's where he put all his money, again. So it has to work out because he didn't help out the offensive side. He can't sit there and say, well, we need more work on the defense, Right. But this is how they want the team to be built. This is their philosophy. And historically, we have great players on that side of the ball. Didn't really matter who the defensive coordinators were. Although we had great defensive coordinators, but as long as you had, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Suggs, Nada out there, they took care of that. And we kind of built that defense the way it is now. Do we have Ed Reed out there? No, but we love Kyle Hamilton.
Right.
We love Roquan Smith. We love Matabike, obviously. So those are supposed to be the guys that should hold it down there. So it shouldn't be that much of a fall off when most of your stars on this team are on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and those guys were natural leaders too.
Yeah,
They were extension of your coaching staff, on the field, so they could take care of any little alignment or attitude adjustments or anything they could take care of.
Yeah.
Chris, you talked about the defense, or you just agree with you was in agreement with those guys?
Oh yeah, I went already.
I don't think the defense is gonna be the same. I think it's gonna suffer. One, I think it's gonna take a minute for Orr to find his footing, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I just spoke highly of Robinson, I think it's gonna take a minute for that edge group to get themselves together because we struck lightning. We hit lightning with Van Noy and Clowney. And even though Clowney missed a bunch of sacks early, he was still getting pressure and forcing quarterbacks to be uncomfortable. I don't know if we're going to get that off the top. Now, maybe we may eventually get that out of whoever plays edge.
Mm-hmm.
But the philosophy of waiting late to get these guys, you ain't gonna always hit like that. And we haven't really hit like that in the past. We just got lucky with these two guys. And who's to say, even if we bring Van Noy back, who's to say he's gonna be the same guy? He's an older guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say he have the same year that he had last year? Because when you get 33, 34, 35, that cliff come out of nowhere.
Right.
And you walking in the dark, you fall right off of it.
And then you don't have Patrick Queen, nor do you have Clowney wreaking havoc, cleaning up some stuff. So he's not going to be able to play the exact same way he did last season.
Right. And then you got Roquan, and not saying to say Roquan's going to be bad, but Roquan may try to do too much to make up, because everybody's assuming Simpson's going to win the spot. So what if Roquan try to do too much to overcompensate for Simpson? Now he gets started getting caught out of position. So now it's this chain reaction of people trying to do too much and we getting exposed on the defensive end until the continuity comes together. So I think the defense is going to suffer early in the season until they figure it out. Now, is it going to cost us games? I hope not, because we need to get it together on the offensive end. But, the offense got their own issues. So I think the defense is going to suffer. I don't think they're going to be near as good as they were last year. I don't think they're going to be bottom of the barrel. But I think they're going to start off bad, and I think they'll progressively get better as the year goes on. And at the end of the year, they'll, like, if you took like that last quarter of the season they'll be highly rated, but overall, I don't think they'll be like top 10. But they'll be trending that way toward the end of the year.
And it also is dependent upon the schedule because we got a first place. We have a first place schedule.
Sure do.
And we play a lot of dogs this year, so it depends upon how the schedule lines up to where they can get themselves together. Because coach, it's easier for the defense to get itself together than it is for the offense to come together. So if we can get like the Washingtons and stuff out the way early, they can kind of get together and start clicking.
Yeah, we're gonna play division games early. Division games late.
Yeah,
that's the way the NFL have been trending toward their schedule making. Division games early, division games late. All right.
I can't wait for the Houston game. I want to see what they got.
On paper, they got a lot. On paper. On paper. Let's do something a little bit fun, a little bit different. So we're gonna take everybody in the group and rank the AFC North quarterback. Obviously, you got the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Steelers, their starter, Russell Wilson. Browns starter, Deshaun Watson. Bengals starter, Joe Burrow. Rank them 1 through 4, and we'll start with get that screen back up here. We'll start with you, Hendo. 1 through 4.
1 through 4. First, of course, it's going to be Lamar Jackson, then Joe Burrow, then Justin Fields, then Deshaun Watson. Y'all laughing? He gonna win a starting job.
Tom to say that he's not the starter.
That's right now. The games have not been played. Russell not used to playing in the AFC North
because he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit a lot by all three teams.
No AFC North.
We'll get to the NFC South in a minute.
Man.
Jose.
Yeah, Lamar, Burrow, Watson, and then Russ. Yeah, I'll say that. You know what? It's tough because Watson hasn't been looking like Watson. You know what I mean?
He kicked out, but though.
What you mean? He got 14 touchdowns in them 2 years.
No, I'm gonna go Russ and then Watson because Russ looked better down the stretch before Denver decided they want to play games with him.
Rodney?
Yeah, Lamar, Burrow. I'm gonna say Russ and Fields, and then Watson because he looks like he forgot how to play football a little bit.
Great.
I'm gonna say Lamar, Burrow, Cliff.
Cliff?
Yeah, like Cliff. Like it's Lamar, Burrow, Cliff.
I was like Robinson.
right.
Steelers quarterback, another Cliff, then Watson.
Wow.
Dang.
You said Watson fell all the way off.
Yeah, that motherfucker sucks.
Oh no, I need to change my last one. Take Watson out and put in Winston.
Jameis.
Right.
This man said Cliff. I'm saying Cliff Kingsbury.
I'm like Cliff Paul.
He threw me off with that one. I got Lamar, Burrow, Fields, Winston, Huntley,
DTR,
Watson.
PJ Marcus on the team?
No, for real though. I got Lamar, Burrow, Watson, Wilson. And honestly, if they didn't go ahead and already name Russell the starter, Fields would have been third in front of Watson because I think highly of Justin Fields. I do.
Me too.
And I don't know why he already named Russell. I don't know if it's an ego thing or what, but to me that was stupid of what Tomlin to me.
Right.
Make them just compete.
That might have been contingent upon the trade that he named him the starter. Because that was before they knew they were getting Fields. So he might have been like, yo, I'll come there.
Like, I'll find here. You got to name me the starter.
Right.
That's why he's going to sign somewhere to be a backup.
Right.
He's Russ. I mean, I guess.
Mr. Sierra.
They used to mean something, B. Used to.
I know. Not so much. I mean, it still means something at the bank.
Oh yeah, it do. It
means something in Denver today too.
Today?
Yeah.
What happened today?
I mean, right now because they still got to write them those checks.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
It means a lot in Denver.
Most definitely.
$9 million.
I'm like you, Jose. I'd be like, man, forget this. Let me go home and live my life. I ain't got to deal with this stuff. Write my check.
I'll be chilling in the recording studio with Sierra.
Right. Go. Girl, you sing that thing, boy. Work them hips.
First of all, I had all that money. I'd be making diss tracks the future. I don't even care if people bought it.
Hendo,
money.
He ain't gotta work. He ain't gotta make diss tracks the future. He taking Baby
really
Future to his football game,
right. He ain't got
to his baseball game.
All he do is post pictures.
Him and Baby Future like this. That's the main diss track right there.
And Future can't do nothing but take it.
He can't do nothing but take it.
Nothing.
Can't do nothing but take it. Him and Baby Future on IG like this.
With the cat,
Big Future seeing it like you.
The biggest cornball in the world, but he would break Future's back.
What?
But coach, you got to caption the picture Daddy Sunday.
Ooh, that's a low blow right there, Hendo.
Screw that guy.
Or take your kids to work day.
How about that?
That's low ball right there. That's low ball. That's low ball. Or like teach your kids how to be better fathers.
Oh man.
Ooh wee. Future might do a whole album entitled it Russ.
Right.
And nobody will understand the word.
Straight mumbling. But what were we? I forgot what we was doing. We got
we were ranking the AFC North quarterbacks.
Oh, so unanimous. Lamar is 1 and Burrow's 2.
Right.
And the other people trying to figure it out. And once free agency kind of, and I was gonna do different positions, but we still early in the like free agency and draft and other stuff. But I was thinking everybody's quarterback is pretty much set for the time being because none of these teams are looking for starting quarterbacks. So that's why I had wrote down other positions, but I just stopped at quarterback because we got draft. Like you said, free agents ain't really started for the Ravens yet. So stop there and we'll do other positions later on in the season. So
but the Bengals need to do something. The Bengals need to do something because their starting quarterback is injury prone.
Well,
he can't stay healthy.
They do what they do over there.
Burrow can't stay healthy.
They do what they do over there.
What did he hurt? Did he hurt his wrist, his
finger,
elbow?
or something?
His elbow.
I thought it was his thumb.
No, it was.
I thought it was
his wrist. His wrist. It was his wrist.
Yeah, a jerk off experience.
Not enough potassium.
Going a little too hard.
All right, let's do this. Move over to this one right here. Add this to the board. Add the stage. All right. So regrading the 2023 draft classes. Which teams had the best and worst rookie class? Now we're not gonna go through all of them. We really just gonna focus on Baltimore. Okay. But obviously you can see by the headline the 3 best classes. Seattle, which would be 2 years in a row that they're in the conversation for some of the best classes. Houston with CJ Stroud, who ended up being the best out of the 3 QBs that kind of went early. And Puka, who came out of nowhere. And I think it's the defensive tackle named Bryant Chris that played for the Rams. That was pretty good.
Bryant Young?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's his name.
Byron.
There we go.
And so those are the kind of the 3 best classes. But we're just gonna drop down to see what they said about the Ravens, and we'll discuss them for a hot second. Just to know they ain't mentioned a bunch of names because we didn't have a lot of them. All right, here we go. Say a decent draft, aka at least we found something. And every time I read this, I kind of throw my shoulders up. At least we found something. C, they gave the Baltimore Ravens a C, and this is from the Athletic. First round wide receiver Zay Flowers, number 22, was a symbolic pick for the evolution of Baltimore's offense and he looks like he'll be a better option for Lamar Jackson than Marquise Brown was in a similar role. Mid-round defensive pick Trent Simpson. He was pick number 86, and Tavius Robinson, who we mentioned earlier, pick number 124. Didn't have big roles on a veteran field defense, but they are raw and talented, says this guy, I think probably was Jeff. Athletes who can take a leap. So mainly because we all know we got in Zay Flowers. Zay produced at a high level, broke a bunch of rookie receiving records. So we know we got in Zay Flowers. Consensus say Zay's gonna be legit. So more so Trent Simpson and Tavius Robinson. And I kind of told y'all how I feel about Tavius, but do you guys feel like Trent Simpson and Tavius Robinson will be guys that we can depend on in Baltimore?
It depends on what you're depending on them for. Be rotational players or be starters?
Both. Well, Trent, we know going to be a starter.
We don't know that. We haven't signed people after June 1st, so we don't know.
Right now, we think he's going to be a starter.
Okay. I mean,
then we look at the age. We're looking at age right now. Tavius is a backup because we're assuming the O's going to start.
I mean, I lend more credence to Tavius because he played 300 something snaps.
I do because we got common sense.
Right. Trenton Simpson only played. Everybody's lauding him for the Steelers game at the end of the season. Like, okay, he played decent in one game. Like, he has to hold up for 17 games and do it consistently. So, I lend more credence to Tavius Robinson. I mean, C is kind of generous, and all of that is due to the fact that they had Zay Flowers, and also they drafted future All-Pro, future Hall of Fame Andrew Voorhees to play guard.
I thought you was going to say Kyle Bukele.
Okay, again.
I said that.
Well-traveled Kyle
he's off the list.
Right.
You got a lockdown corner, a starting guard. I mean, they cleaned up on day 3.
Only three names were mentioned, and Voorhees was not one of them. Wow. But everybody else mentions him. And even the Ravens themselves are trying to throw the I guess the hype train out there, giving him an episode on the
lounge.
On the lounge. Now, when I say this, people, I'm not saying that he won't be good, and I think everybody's up here saying similar things. We just haven't seen it yet. The guy was hurt. I'm from Missouri. You gotta show me.
Right.
That's a saying. I'm not really from Missouri. You got to show me.
Coach, you got to tell them that's the show me state. That's why you show.
Yeah, that's the show me state. Just for those that don't know, I just got to see it because we saw glimpses of like people that show you his college tape. We don't know if that knee is healthy. We don't know if he can move that good anymore. The good thing about it is most of the time when people have that injury, the second year is when they finally get quote unquote healthy. And this will technically be that second year for him. Technically. So maybe he'll be back to that. Not saying he won't be good. It needs to be seen. Because if you familiar with the Boondocks, he's a known unknown that's unknown. And there's too many unknown knowns that we don't know about to be known unknowns. If you don't watch the Boondocks, you don't know. And that character was played by Samuel L. Jackson.
I think
unknown knowns.
I think this conversation we're having right now just pretty much sums up this draft class. We're talking about a guy that's not even on the list. All right. I think they gave him a too high of a grade. This should be a D. Because really, Zay Flowers, lock, obviously, right? Good pick. Trenton Simpson, Tavius Robinson, we're projecting, right? They haven't done a whole lot. We're hoping that they can break out this year. And Voorhees, that's a fairy tale at this point. You don't expect 7th rounders, especially injury prone 7th rounder, to play. If he does play well, that's a huge surprise, a huge bonus. But Trenton Simpson and Tavius Robinson could take this thing down to a D- F, right? Really, Zay Flowers is the only one that we know we hit on right now.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, put this over here. That's what we got. Can y'all see that? That's what we did last year. That's all of them. Zay, Trent, Tavius, and so maybe they just cut it off because they picked the first 3. Caillou Blue Kelly, has been. I think he's on like his 4th or 5th team already. Salah, we know we got in Salah, not very good so far. Was in a competition with John Simpson. Wasn't very much competition. Wasn't very good in the preseason games at all. And then Voorhees is who we just mentioned. So, wasn't very good. Wasn't very good. He hit on Zay. He hit on Zay. Trent is unknown. Tavius was surprising. He was surprising. I thought he was gonna be crap. His I often say high school. His college tape didn't show very much, but he ended up, developing. And me and Hendo joked about when he got drafted in the preseason, and we joked about him early in the season, but them jokes disappeared toward the end of the year from both of us.
Yep.
And right today I gave him his props because he developed. So, but and Voorhees could be good now. Voorhees was good in college. He could be good, and I hope that he doesn't fall into the same boat as Ojabo, because we drafted Ojabo hurt, and he pretty much missed 2 seasons, and Voorhees has missed 1. I hope he doesn't fall into the boat of missing a second. I hope he's all the way healthy and doesn't have to go back in for any kind of cleanup issue and end up missing a bunch of the 2024 season. So I hope he can fall in there, and I hope he, like all the people that says he's a dog and does that, I hope he does that, because we need we need to solidify at least one of them guard spots. At least one of them guard spots, because we got too many holes on the offensive line. It's a revolving door up there other than Linderbaum and Stanley. And so something needs to be solidified up there, in my opinion. All right. My bad. I didn't mean to get rid of everybody. There we go. Any more comments on that last one?
I hate articles like that. That's so fast. Like, you can't grade a draft like right after the draft or a year after, because if you look at the 2020 draft, I mean, it looks like hot garbage if you do it a year after or 2 years after, and then you fast forward 4 years and it's like, oh yeah, that turned out to be a pretty good draft. Yep. So it's like grading them now. Like, I get why they do it. They got to get the clicks and all of that stuff and content. So I get why they do it. It's like, if Andrew Voorhees is good, then it's like, all right, so then now what? If Zay Flowers tanks next year and he turns out to be a bust, then it's like, all right, so what now? Right. You need some time to really let these things settle and let these players develop. I mean, it's good to see, like, a year later, like, what have they done? What have they shown? But right now, it's a lot of question marks, and that's what you expect when you're taking these dudes later on in the draft and they don't really get any burn, or somebody's coming off of an injury like Jabo, or like last year's case of Voorhees. It's hard to grade these dudes.
So something about this comment right here. Salah was a right tackle in college and told to play left guard. Not an easy transition. I won't judge him until he plays where he's comfortable, much like Cleveland. That's fair. But
hey, that's why I threw it up there.
But this is why we push back on the Voorhees talk, because people project Voorhees to be locked in at one of those starting positions, and if he doesn't play well, then we'll get comments like this. Well, hey, he's just rookie and is coming off his injury, and you got to give him time. We don't have time. We need starters now. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to play around with picks like Salah, like Voorhees, like Falele, guys that we're not sure about. We're just hoping they get better. We need guys that can play now.
Yep. The thing is, if he came in and he was a backup guard, right, I'd be totally cool with it. Give him a chance to get his feet wet, because he tore his ACL or whatever he tore. It's cool. But right now we're looking at this dude to be a starter with the league MVP behind him.
Right. And then so in general, I agree with you, Chris, that it takes several years before you can really lock in on what these players are, in any particular draft class. But each team is different, right? When you're Baltimore and you're out here and you're like, hey, we have 3 openings on our offensive line. We have an opening at either wide receiver 2 or 3 or whatever you want to call it, and you need guys who can play right now. then you have to start judging those draft classes because you're expecting production out of them, and they're kind of, intentionally orchestrating the offseason that way sometimes to say, hey, we're not going to go and get guys we can rely on, veterans that we know can play. We're going to go into this season saying this rookie is going to fill this spot, So it does become, because you mentioned the 2020 class, right? And yeah, if you look at it now, those guys have kind of, some of those guys have developed better than, what it looked like initially. Mm-hmm. But a couple of those guys who developed better than it looked like initially no longer play for the team, right? And what you got from them wasn't necessarily all that great.
Right. What's the alternative though? I mean, you want to draft good players and players that you think you can develop. I mean, developing is not a bad thing, and you got to retain those players. But how many third rounders hit? How many fourth rounders hit? How many fifth rounders hit? Like at all?
Yeah, not many.
Not a lot.
Not many. I'm just talking about in terms of producing these kind of articles, because it's different for every team. Like some teams rely on their rookies more than other teams rely on their rookies, and you can kind of you have to go in and say, hey, what did this class give you early on? Because that's when you put them out there. You know what I mean? When you draft a lot of players like Baltimore does, when you draft 18 players in the fourth round and they can all sit for 3 years, then you can say, yeah, well, we'll wait and see what the finished product is. But it's not always the case, is all I'm saying. Because coming up, they're gonna be starting most likely 1 or 2 rookies on that O-line, and they have to get production out of them right now. And if they eventually turn into good players, okay, but you're playing for a Super Bowl right now. You know what I mean?
Right, and I agree with Chris 100%.
And you need that kind of production immediately.
Yeah, and I agree with Chris 100%.
If we had one hole on the O-line, I understand.
Yeah.
Maybe even 2.
Right.
But when I saw that they traded Moses, that threw me off, because like, bro, we in our window.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is the problem that I have, and it's not the fact that you can draft it, you can kind of judge a class on a year, even 2 years after. Sometimes it takes 3 years to fully judge a draft class. But the issue that I'm having is we have Lamar Jackson in this window to win a Super Bowl, and we're drafting guys and experimenting with them at different positions. Yes, it is difficult to be a tackle in college and come in and play guard. Then why not draft a guard? Because not only are you putting pressure on a rookie to learn his job, you're putting pressure on him to learn a whole nother position.
Mm-hmm.
That's so. But the other part of that comment too is like you don't ever know that he's going to get a chance to play tackle. He's got to perform wherever they put him. Like he's not a top pick where they're like, hey, this is going to be our tackle. We need him to fill in right now. He's a 5th or 6th round or whatever he was. He's got to play wherever they tell him to play.
Right. And if you're a tackle in college, that means you're probably the best lineman on that team. So you should at least be able to play guard on the next level. You should, and I air quote should, because unless the movements are different. But I'm saying if you're a tackle on Tennessee, if you're a tackle at Tennessee, right, you should be able to play guard.
You should play in the SEC.
Play guard in the NFL. Should. And if you're a guard in the SEC, you should be able to play center. Should, unless you can't snap, and that's totally different. Snapping is kind of hard if you're not an athlete. But that's my 2 cents. And last thing I got is another article from The Athletic. It's talked about the Baltimore Ravens big board. It's coming into focus with the draft coming up in less than a month. It's actually 26 days, I think. And since I mentioned the draft, all of us plus the entire Deep Cover podcast will be here for the round 1 of the draft. I think it's April 26th or 27th.
25th, I believe.
25th? I believe. Whatever date it is. It was a Thursday. At 8 o'clock. We'll all be here for the first round. Second round is negotiable. Third round is non-negotiable because we ain't doing that. But we'll be here to have great banter, great information, great jokes. If you was here last year, everybody loved it. Loved it. We had good information about a boatload of players. We had great banter amongst each other, between the picks, because it'd be like a dull period. And then when the picks were made, we were able to talk about how the picks would fit each team. It just was a good time had by all. And you know how we get witty and crack jokes and have fun on here. So make sure you be here to tune in for that. You watch it on your TV or whatever, and have us on your phone or your computer, whatever, and just join us and have fun for that. But Baltimore Ravens big board options starting to show up at 30, come into focus. And so this is what the Athletic has for that. If I can add it to the stage, there it is. This is a guy that I really don't want to see. But as I show the names up there, you guys tell me what you feel about it. So the first name, and this is they say it's from Dane Brugler, but it is what it is on Athletic. Keon Coleman. We'll start with you, Hendo, since you're the Florida State guy. Would you like to have Keon Coleman? And if you say yes, tell me why. If you say no, tell me why.
I would love to have Keon Coleman. And I know Brian is going to say something about contested catch wide receivers in college don't do well in the NFL, and I understand that. I don't like him at 28. I would like for the Ravens to actually draft him because he's a big body. He can get open. Doing the drills at the combine, he recorded the fastest time, not in the 40, but in the actual catching drills. Like he was over 20 miles. The gauntlet, he was over 20 miles an hour. I know he ran a 4.61, but I think he can actually help Lamar out, especially being that Lamar does not have to be pinpoint accurate with him being 6'3", and no size is not a skill. But I'd love to have Keon Coleman, just not at 30.
Same question, Jose.
So wait, so you don't want him at 30? Where would you want him?
I mean, hopefully we can trade him, get him in the second round. I really want an offensive lineman in the first round.
Then you don't want them, right? I like Keon Coleman, but I mean, we have 3 holes on the O-line. I can't think of anything else other than O-line. But I mean, I like Keon Coleman. I think he would be a good addition to the team.
Chris?
I like Keon Coleman, but I don't like the fit. I don't think Lamar is the type of quarterback, or I don't think Keon Coleman is the type of not wide receiver. Shit. Wide receiver that will mesh well with Lamar. I think he needs somebody.
You sure this ain't your class?
I don't think he would mesh well. I don't think Lamar is the kind of quarterback as far as that wide receiver and quarterback chemistry. I just don't think those two would be a good fit, because Keon Coleman, he's the kind of guy that, we spoke about this on the show last week when we were talking about wide receivers. Like, I think Keon Coleman and Marcus Colston, I think they have a lot of similarities with each other. And a quarterback like Drew Brees will bring that out of a wide receiver like Keon Coleman. Now, Lamar, he hasn't shown that he's that type of quarterback who can mesh well with those types of wide receiver. Lamar, he needs to see somebody open before being able to trust them and throw it, unless you're Mark Andrews. But I'm still a big fan of Keon Coleman. Now, if it happened, I'll be like, all right, I want to see how this works, because, I have my doubts, but Keon Coleman's talented, Lamar's talented, so talent up and make this shit work. But if he wouldn't be my first choice, I'll put it at that.
B?
Yeah, I wouldn't take Keon Coleman at 30 unless that pick is going to a package to get a guy like Justin Jefferson or Brandon Ayuk or something like that. Then you need to sit there and draft an offensive lineman, because you procrastinated. Now you got to pay.
Gotcha. He wouldn't be my first pick, but like Chris, I wouldn't be mad if we got him. What I will say is, going back and looking at Keon Coleman's tape to study, his quarterback was not as good as I thought it was. So a lot of that contested catch crap is the numbers are misleading. He went for a lot of balls he shouldn't have. He had no chance of catching. So a lot of his contested catch numbers are BS, because Jordan Travis was not as accurate as I thought he was. His feet is the reason he was in the Heisman contention.
You don't say.
And that's no shot at you, Hendo. It's just when I went back.
I know it's the truth, though. It's the truth.
All right, second name they had, Cooper DeJean. I'm gonna go first. This is some bull jive. Terrion Arnold, who's a local kid, Quinn Mitchell. If those guys are on the board and we pick Cooper DeJean, I might ride. I don't want a cornerback at all, but if we have to go cornerback and these two dudes are still on the board and we go Cooper DeJean, I might ride. Ride in this little box right here, not outside this box. But you know what I mean.
You know what I mean? Good news for you. You don't have to go corner or anybody on defense, and they should essentially just take defensive players off their board in the first round,
right?
Because they have a lot of work to do on offense.
Yeah, but you know how they like to zag. But so you in agreement with me then, B, right?
Yeah, no, that's a joke.
Okay, Chris.
No corner.
So, I'm in agreement with that. I like the player. I think he's really, really good. I think he could be a guy who could definitely be that type of cornerback or defensive back, wherever you want to play him, that could come in and make impact plays, not just shut a side down, which I don't think he's a shutdown corner, but I think he's a playmaker. And in this NFL, this era of NFL, you need those kind of guys who can take the ball away and make plays and score touchdowns and all of that stuff. So I do think he's a very talented player, but not when you have 4 new starters on the offensive line or 3 new starters, whatever the hell you want to put it.
Now, I will be paying attention April 8th, though. I will be paying attention. April 8th. Go ahead, Jose.
Nah, I agree with B and Chris. Like the player, but we should not be looking at cornerback. We shouldn't be looking at defense. I mean, until we get to an offensive line, I'm just going to sit there and say, nah, I don't like the pick.
Okay.
Listen, I already told B, when we live streaming, if the Ravens pick a cornerback in the first round, I'm logging off. I'm just going to lay down. Y'all laughing. I'm going to sleep. I'm telling you, if we draft Jason Sehorn in the first round, it's the wrap.
That ain't Jason Sehorn. That's the NFL's Caitlin Clark.
Oh,
that too. Yeah.
Oh, same school.
Same school. Yeah.
Same look.
Now, I will say this: the kid can play now.
He can play. The
kid can play. I ain't gonna take nothing from him. The kid can play. I don't think he can cover my boy though. Chris, I don't think he can cover my boy.
Who's your boy?
I don't think he can cover Ricky.
You don't think he can cover Ricky?
I don't think he can cover Ricky.
I
think Pearsall give him the business.
Shit, with that quarterback they have, he'll definitely take the ball away though.
Yep. Pearsall with a good quarterback would get Cooper DeJean the business.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
Where did Pearsall go to college?
UF.
Okay.
Arizona State.
Where did Keon Coleman go to college, Hendo?
See, you always got to
Michigan State.
Yeah, right, Michigan State.
All right, let's see what they got next on the list. Tyler Guyton.
There we go.
Offensive tackle from Oklahoma. So Jose, you go first.
I'm feeling good about this one. I like this one.
I read it real quick. It says several offensive linemen, including Notre Dame's Joe Alt, Oregon State's Talisa Fuaga, Washington State's Troy Fatnu, Penn State's Olu Fashanu, and Alabama CJ Latham are expected to be gone by the time Baltimore's on the clock. Guyton is probably a long shot to still be here. If he is, he would make for a relatively easy decision for the Costin Company. Guyton 6'7", 328 pounds, is a plug-and-play right tackle with extreme upside due to his athleticism and range. He didn't play a ton of college football, so there's rawness to his game. However, there's still much to work with, and the Ravens trust their ability to develop offensive linemen.
What do you mean he didn't play a lot of college football? He's hurt?
Behind a lot of seniors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
TCU, he was behind guys too. Like
they started at H-back. He was H-back when he started.
So I mean, Chris and Coach, you guys are more offensive line gurus. Like, what do you think about this guy?
Well, I like him.
I like him. I'm not over the moon about him, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers. So yeah, sign me up.
I mean, if there's a certain guy from Oregon still on the board and he's there, I'll take that guy.
I mean, look, man, we just need to trade up. This is a trend we're going here. We just need to trade up.
Right.
Trade up and get a guy.
I ain't a fan of that one either because we got so many holes.
Man, it is what it is, man. We gotta get some. We got to get some surefire hits. We can't get guys that just maybe it'll work out. We need to get a guy that we know can play.
We can't get guys that's gonna start in year 3 or 4.
No,
we need.
I don't think there's nobody in this there that's surefire.
I mean,
at tackle, at right tackle, we can't get anybody in the first round.
It's just a couple guys.
I mean, I think he would definitely be in the mix to start. If you take him in the first round, I definitely think he'll be in the mix. But to just write that down in ink, like, no, you never know. Especially look at Evan Neal.
Right.
I mean, who thought the Giants would be in the market for another tackle? I mean, you just never know how these guys come out.
And
but
he was dominant.
Yeah, but like I said, like I think there are other tackles I like more that I would feel more confident in. Guys who have more versatility. Now, Tyler Guyton, he started off as a left tackle too, and the only reason he moved was because of I think they had Anton Harrison at Oklahoma, who was a guy who got drafted, and they had Wanye Morris too. So he made that.
Not boys to men.
I think he could. I think if they draft him in the first, I think he's definitely in the mix to start at right tackle.
Yeah, he definitely been in the mix because what's my big dude? Falele. I don't have a lot of trust in him yet. And I think the guy we picked up from Houston, that even though he has position flexibility, I think he's in the mix to start at right tackle with Falele because Falele's not very good right now. Now I hope he's gotten better with his footwork because I think that's his problem, footwork. His foot speed. And I don't mean like running the forward though. I just think he lumbers too much. He can't pick him up and put him down fast enough to deal with some edge rushers. And so I think that is Falele's problem. And so I think that throws Josh Jones in the mix at right tackle. Just that issue right there. So
I think Jones, he might be Ben Cleveland, like as far as which side he likes to be on. I watched some of him on the right side, and it was ugly, especially
he
against
getting on
the
the
Ravens.
left, then definitely.
Especially against the Ravens. No, he looked better on the left. Is what
I'm saying, but because Ronnie there, he ain't getting on the left.
No, but I mean,
at guard maybe
because Ronnie is there, he might be that guy on the left.
Oh, as the backup.
Maybe backup, maybe the left guard. I don't know what their plan is with him, but I think he should be on the left side. And there was an article where he said he felt more comfortable on that side too. So it might be like a Ben Cleveland situation where it's just that's just. I mean, he came up as a left tackle, so maybe just that side is just like wiping the ass. You just feel more comfortable with that side.
Got it. B. Tyler Guyton.
I mean, I don't know much about Tyler Guyton, but like Jose said, sign me up. Because let me ask you, Coach, would you feel better about Falele at say right tackle if they put him on the Darrell Williams plan when he was in Carolina? He made All Pro. He couldn't handle athletic edge rushers, but they essentially gave him help with tight ends and running backs on every single play.
Oh, what they did to him at left tackle. That's what they did to Falele when he got forced to play left tackle.
Yeah. So having to think that hard sounds bad.
I'm doing because that takes
so you agree with me straight up.
that takes a weapon out of your passing game also.
I mean, but what if it's Charlie?
You have to do that every play.
Charlie Kolar, yeah, good point.
Because at some point you got to be able to protect 5 man. You got to.
Yeah, that's why it's important. That's why we have to get it right.
It's a tough question, and ain't nobody guaranteed those. What the point that?
But there are other ones you feel. But there are other ones that you feel better about.
All right, this list of names up here is Alt, Tallahassee, Fontenot, Fashanu, and Latham. It's 2 dudes out of them 5 that's probably gonna go in the top 15 that I feel like are for sure. And it's Tallahassee and Fontenot. Because I ain't like Joe Alt. Joe Alt don't move well enough for me for me. Fashanu don't move well enough for me either, and CJ Latham don't move well enough for me. But Tallahassee and Fontenot, I'd put a few dollars on them 2.
So we got to trade up to 15 then.
But this is what we say. Like, there were guys who were sure things in free agency, and you should have gone and signed some of them, but you didn't.
It didn't.
And now, when you pass on it, then you got to pay the price later.
True.
So, it is what it is. I mean, unless you just don't care about protecting Lamar, which I think is kind of the thing in Baltimore.
Which they don't.
Yeah. So,
on you, Hendo.
Oh, I mean, if he's there, I'll take him. There's some other guys I would prefer over him. But
name names.
What's the kid from Georgia? Mims.
I'll
take him.
Him and his 32 snaps.
Hey, I'll take him.
Some information out there. I ain't saying you're wrong. I'm just
he's familiar. He's familiar with Todd Monken. So,
who's my guy from UConn? I keep forgetting his name, Chris.
Oh, Christian Haynes.
Yeah.
Now he is a guard.
That's plug and play.
Okay. Let's see who else they got on this list. Latu. I love this dude.
So is he outside linebacker or is he an edge?
Edge. He's an edge.
He's an edge. He's the best, probably one of the best, if not the best edge in this group. Man.
They have him listed as best edge.
This dude
in the draft
versus the pass, awesome. He ain't probably gonna do too much versus the run, but pass rush, this gonna go get it. And I said in like the video I did on him, I thought when I saw him play versus Colorado, I thought it's Colorado because their offensive line was trash,
horrible.
No, this dude when they play USC, it's basically him playing tag with Caleb Williams. Him running around chasing Caleb Williams out the pocket all game. This dude, he different, man. He got bend. He got a high motor. He can do everything pass rush wise that you would want, and he just don't have the bricks because he's like a power forward body type. So he ain't gonna he can play versus the run, but he ain't just got the power to if a Trent get up on him, and I know Trent's all pro, so that's probably a bad. It's like a Moses get a good come off. Morgan Moses get a good come off. He ain't probably gonna get up off that.
Okay.
But in pass rush situations, he'll eat Morgan Moses lunch all day. Hendo, let's let you start with Latu.
When it comes to Ravens and the defense in the first 2 rounds, I do not approve this message. No. No.
Yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Right.
Strictly because it's not O-line, right? Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I agree too. I like the player. It's similar to Cooper DeJean. Like, I like the player. Yeah. Obviously they have a need on that at that position, but I don't think a cornerback or an edge rusher that's not gonna have implications on your quarterback standing up and possibly getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into the season not having a premier edge rusher or that premier corner from the first round, like that, it doesn't really matter,
right? If
your quarterback is getting hurt again. So although I like the players, Randy Jackson and say it's a no for me, dog.
B.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'll take Cooper DeJean before I take another edge to put with your first, second, and fourth rounders who you already have who haven't played.
Hey, I'm like y'all. Like, it's a no for me, but I guarantee you, if he on the board at 30, the clock won't get to 2:59 before the call. Wait a minute, the first round 5 minutes, ain't it? It won't get to 4:59.
15. It's 15.
It won't get to 14:59 if he on the board. Because best player available will be in effect. Right. Now, I personally wouldn't pick him out. Because of what we got on the O-line. But if he there at 30, Eric DeCosta would be salivating at the mouth. He'd be like a wild pit bull dog. I guarantee you he'll be raving. Let's see. We got a little bit more over here, so I know it's a few more. This is the guy I think Jose talked about. Mims. Mims
No.
is in
I talked about the guy from UConn.
somebody
Yeah.
asked about the guy from Georgia.
I did. I asked about Mims.
Okay, that was Hendo. Mims in the same boat as Guyton. Guyton is in. That's unlikely that he'll be available for the Ravens. However, if one of the projected early to mid first round tackles falls, it could be Mims because he has limited experience. He's just started in just 8 games in college. He has battled some injuries. Mims, though, has all the tools to be a standout right tackle at the next level. 6'7", 330 pounds. He has ideal size and length for the position. He plays with power and awareness. If not for injury concerns, he'd almost certainly be hearing his name in the first half of the first round. B.
Yeah, I mean, he has the right initials next to his name. That's like it's
OT.
It's panic time on the O-line in Baltimore.
Chris.
I struggle with Mims. I mean, he's a guy who's dealt with injuries, doesn't have a lot of experience, and it's like, do we want to draft another question mark into already a unstable situation?
Project.
Like, he has all of the physical tools, like, which is fine, but is he going to be available to play? Like, that's the issue with Mims.
Mm-hmm.
And I find myself in a difficult spot when it comes to him and his evaluation. But like B said, those initials OT. All right, the Ravens draft him. I'll be excited about it. And I could tell myself a story of, all right, they got one of the best offensive tackles in the game, like in this draft. And if he goes back to Georgia, he'd probably be a top 10, top 15 pick, maybe, if he stays healthy. Who knows?
Yep.
So, I wouldn't be mad at it. It wouldn't be my first pick.
Jose? Well, we kind of know Jose's answer, but go ahead.
No, I agree. Like, I mean, we can't. Injuries can happen to anybody, but because we're in this position with the O-line, I feel a little uncomfortable getting somebody that has injury concerns. I mean, he could get drafted.
No,
I mean, I'd be a little hesitant getting somebody that has an injury history. But I mean, look, he could get drafted and not get hurt again, right? Or not get any major injuries. Like it's kind of weird that way. But it would make me feel a little nervous because whoever we get, we're going to be leaning on, and we need to make sure that they can hold up. That's the only thing. But yeah, like Chris said, I mean, that's what we get, and let's go.
Right. Hendo?
Damn Skippy. Listen, like you said, OT. And I know it's injury concerns and limited snaps and all that, but we've taken enough flyers on projects and injury concerns on the defensive end. Why would we not try it on the offensive end? Like, it doesn't seem to be a problem when there's a defender that we don't know what he can do, but let's just grab him in the first round because I know that we can develop him. And it is a risk. It's all a risk. And like Bradley said, we technically should not be fully into this position. You know what I'm saying? Now we should be able to pick somebody that we know can come in and possibly start, but we have 3 holes and we need to fill that by any means necessary. And we can't depend upon the June 1st cuts because we don't know who's going to get cut.
Right. Exactly. For me, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Coach. I have a quick question.
No, go ahead.
If offensive line wasn't as much of a concern, let's say, we had 2 of the slots pretty much filled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would that change how we look at this board? Like, would you guys say, man, we still need to get an O-line, or there's somebody else out here we'd rather get?
Receiver.
Wide receiver, that edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, that's not the world you're living in right now.
Football starts, and people will tell you different. Football starts with O-line, D-line.
I would say 100% trade that pick. Bring us Justin Jefferson. If we were good on O-line, I'd be like, don't use that pick. Trade it.
Right.
Justin ain't third ain't gonna get you Justin Jefferson.
No. You package next year's and some other picks. And
I thought you meant like 30 by itself.
I knew he was gonna say Bateman.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, and whatever else they need to get that deal done, send them right on over. I don't care about this year's pick. I don't care about next year's pick. First, second, or third. They take package something and send them over there for Justin Jefferson.
Right.
All right. Well, speaking of Justin Jefferson, next on that list, Adonai Mitchell. Now I start here. In my little mock drafts I do, I normally get Adonai Mitchell in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And I still get me 2 O-linemen. And I'll tell you, normally I end up with a guy that somebody asked about, the Connecticut guy. I normally
Christian
get him,
Haynes.
and I normally get me another tackle that me and Chris have talked about on our 2 tackle shows. So I normally get a receiver in the first round, and I still come away with 2 O-linemen to fill holes. So, and I feel a little different about Adonai than I do Keon. I'm comfortable with taking Adonai in first round as I am. I was not comfortable with taking Keon in the first, but I like Keon though. But I'm comfortable with taking him in the first round. So for me, Adonai would be a yes. Hendo?
I'm at to go no. Okay. I still gotta get that offensive lineman.
Understandable.
But it is tempting. Because the kid can play.
Yeah, same for me. Same for me. I thought he was projected to go higher though.
He was, but
this class is deep,
he's
man.
slipping. Yeah.
This class deep. There's a lot of good old linemen out there. A lot of good tackles. Like you saw, like that list of tackles from earlier with Joe Alt and all them, that ain't even half the guys. Like me and Chris probably could have did a third show about O-linemen.
Well, I'll say this. One way to mitigate the problem at O-line is to have a lot of talent around Lamar, right? Because that's kind of what Joe Burrow did that year they went to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, that is another strategy, I guess, if he worked out that way. But yeah,
one way to mitigate the O-line is to have superb receiver talent around Lamar, and we don't have superb receiver talent around Lamar.
True.
You got to have guys that can get open right now, and we got one guy that can get open right now.
Yes. Yeah.
They had 3. They had Higgins, Boyd, and Chase. We got 1. But go ahead, Chris.
Don't like it. Now I need to ask a question. Is this the only receiver on this list other than Keon?
Hold on.
Or is there another one?
Hold on. There are 2 names after Adonai, and neither one of them are receivers.
Okay.
Yeah,
so no. For the same reasons as Keon Coleman. Now I think they're different wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's clear. You put the tape on, you see that they're clearly way different than each other.
Let me say this, Chris. Let me interject. Right, his quarterback wasn't very good either. I will tell y'all that from watching his tape and watching Worthy. His quarterback was not very good either. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers is just cheek. So anybody putting him in that top 5 quarterback discussion for next year, just shut up. But yeah, Mitchell. Like I think he's well. First of all, I think he's gonna go earlier than pick 30. I think he's gonna go earlier than that. But again, like with Keon, like is Lamar going to trust a rookie wide receiver with those, deep outside the numbers throw? Like, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe he will. I don't know, but I just don't see that fit. Now, if we're talking Xavier Worthy, I see that fit a lot better, and I see that transition a little bit easier than I see with an AD Mitchell, who's going to have to be on the boundary and have to deal with most likely bigger, tougher, faster cornerbacks. Mm-hmm. Again, like Keon, if they do draft him, I could tell myself a story of how this could work.
Exactly. But I see Keon as a slot receiver. I see AD as an outside receiver.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's going to have to deal with those boundary guys, mm-hmm. and that's going to be a tough transition. And I don't see Lamar having that trust with a rookie wide receiver, early on to just be able to trust him. Like, all right, go get it then for me. And yeah, I'm not as big on AD Mitchell as far as I think where he's going to go, because I do think he's going to go earlier than this.
Now, last year, Bateman was in that role as that boundary guy. You don't think Bateman had that same role this year?
No, I think they need to move all of them around.
Okay.
Like you should. I think all of that is overrated. Like, oh, you need a boundary guy. Like, you need move them all around. Like, make everybody's life easier. Have to keep the defense guessing and on its toes. Like, move everyone around. I feel like they did Odell a disservice by putting him on the outside as much as they did. I think they should have given him more free releases, put him in the slot way more than they actually did. Because I mean, at this point in his career, he's not going to be that guy that's going to win one-on-one on the outside deep down the field like he used to.
Gotcha. B? Oh,
No.
Okay. All right. Start with you, B. Jordan Morgan.
Yeah, this guy, I don't think I've ever even heard this guy's name.
Did you see when I was talking about the dude walking around their tippy toes, being the bad kid in the neighborhood?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what that is. He's an offensive tackle and a guard from Arizona. He pretty darn good.
And if he does have the ability to play both, that's a big help for Baltimore because as we know, they need two guards and a tackle. So anybody who can give them a little more flexibility in terms of where to slot people is a good pick. But like I said, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen him play.
I never heard of him either, but sign me up. I'm sorry, Chris.
No, you good. This one, he's one that I kind of struggle with too, as far as that this tier of tackles. He's probably the one I feel maybe. I don't know. I have my concerns about him as an offensive tackle. I think he could play guard, but there's a big problem with him in my eyes as far as being able to redirect. And after you lose, that's like the big part of playing tackle is being able to redirect your momentum and being able to recover, because you're going to get beat as a tackle. Like, no way around it. Trent Williams gets beat.
Yeah. Now,
where they make their money and what sets them apart from good to great is the ability to recover. And with Jordan Morgan, it's kind of hit or miss sometimes. And that kind of scares, because I want to at least be able to see that ability and those feet. And with a guy like Tyler Guyton, I see those feet a little bit more. You see that length with Tyler Guyton, and same with Mims. With Morgan, it's a little bit more of a journey sometimes when he finds himself in those positions. So I wouldn't be mad at the pick for sure, but I would be a little trepidatious.
I'll say this with Morgan. When I was telling you I was doing those mocks, Jordan is one of the guys that I was getting, but I wasn't getting him in the first round. I was getting him in the second. Hendo? Unless you still wanted to add to what you had to say, Jose.
No, I'm good.
Hendo?
Yeah, I don't know nothing about him, but sure.
All right. Last name on the list?
A good one.
Right there.
Chop Robinson.
Hendo, start with you. Chop Robinson, not offense, outside linebacker, Penn State, Maryland native, put on a show at the NFL Scouting Combine with his speed and physical gifts. Sound like I've read that before. Explosive pass rusher who plays a strong combination of athleticism and power. I feel like I've read that before. Go ahead, Hendo.
Same school, huh?
Same school.
So for me, I'm going to chop him off of the draft board. Nope.
I don't know why you come around here messing with folks.
Right. Thanks.
Jose?
I think he had a good 40 time too, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely another Owe looking pick here. But no. I mean, anything defense, no.
All right, Chris.
I think this is another dude who I think he's going to be gone before pick 30. But just like Latu and Cooper. Like, I like the player, but can he move to guard? Like, can he move to offensive tackle? Like, it don't matter how much I like him, but is he going to be able to keep Lamar upright and healthy? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, if we said no to the best edge, why would we then take the next best?
I got an ode to I don't even know this TikToker's name, but he wear the big ski glasses and he walk around with this the workout thing that you kind of stand on, you be punching. So he be walking around with that thing and he be doing this little thing and he be spinning around and wow, chop. So that's what I'm doing, Chop Robinson. Why would I want a clone of something I already got?
Right.
That ain't panned out. You know what that's like? That's like having this toxic girlfriend that you just don't get along with. Y'all argue. You finally break up with her. And then you go date her twin sister. Stupid. But that's all. That's the last name on in the article. So we really just the tackles. Everybody was in line with the tackles, with the exception of maybe Jordan Morgan. Then I was cool with my guy from Texas, the receiver, AD Mitchell. Mitchell. But if I'm telling you, if Latu is there at 30, I guarantee you the cost is gonna pick. And I think y'all agree with me. If he there, Latu is the pick.
Gone.
He is the pick if he there. It's gonna be best player available, and every interview they do, well, we had somebody on the board, but best player available, and it's gonna be the Kyle Hamilton speech all over again. But Kyle Hamilton worked out for us.
That's my favorite thing about the best player available strategy is you can employ it whenever you want, right? Because you can take Kyle Hamilton, who's a great prospect, but then sometimes you can just forget it and take Owe. Doesn't matter,
right?
You can call anybody the best player available. I mean, you took them; they were the best.
And if you can, and we don't know what's on your board.
Yeah, show your board.
You can say
show your board and then tell me you're going best player available.
We don't know what's on your board. Exactly. Your best player available can be Pee Wee Herman. We ain't got a clue.
R.I.P.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why that was funny
to me. I'm sorry. Me and Chris, we probably won't have a show this week. We're probably going next week. Because I sent him my 5. He ain't sent me his 5. But he got other stuff going. So we probably
that's on me. No, we could do it this week.
No, because you sent me your 5 yet. So I ain't had a chance to watch them.
Oh, okay.
And I know I ain't gonna have them watched by the time we supposed to have the show and do the graphics and stuff.
Gotcha,
so we can go next Wednesday.
Okay.
But
my bad on that.
No, it's all good. We could do. You ain't hurt my feelings. But anyway, we got another thing coming up too when we get ready to do our draft stuff with the deep cover. So at some point you be looking out for that. We basically we have a bracket style where we try to pick the Ravens draft pick for that year. And what is it, 4 or 5 years in a row? We pretty much pick the guy that the Ravens gonna draft.
Yeah.
So that ends up being on a Deep Cover podcast, and they've allowed me to be a part of that. And
great show.
And
definitely have to catch that.
The guy I tried to fight for last year that I just knew the Ravens were gonna pick, they didn't, and I didn't win, and I'm glad it didn't win because they didn't pick who I thought. I was fighting hard for the cornerback that the Commanders picked.
Emmanuel Forbes.
I was fighting for my Mississippi guy. And they didn't pick him. So, but they end up getting Zay, and I forgot who has it. Was it you, Chris?
Yeah.
Yep. Got Zay. So that was another win for the Ravens, another win for Deep Cover Podcast predicted. So that's coming up soon. So be on the lookout for that. But me and Chris will do Edge Guys on the 10th, and we'll do cornerbacks on the 17th. And then the draft will be shortly thereafter. So then the 2 shows we'll have coming up on draft prospects. But deep cover wise, what else y'all got coming up?
I think we're gonna do a 7-round show where we kind of just go through like the mock draft simulator, but we discuss the picks and the players available in real time as if we were the Ravens front office.
Okay.
We're gonna do that. I think we missed it last year, but it's it's a fun exercise. It's always good to see where our opinions lie versus where the Ravens lie, and a lot of the times we actually end up having some of the good guys who get picked in the AFC North, which is kind of weird. Like Logan Wilson, Owusu Koromoa, those are dudes that we were all real high on. But it's always a fun exercise to do and hash out and seeing what people think about it too. So I think we're going to drop that maybe within like the next 2 weeks or so, and then along with the bracket show.
Gotcha. Hendo.
Yes, sir. You can find me on The Rogue Pod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Doing the same stuff I'm always doing. Streaming, making videos. But I have a live show every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. with myself and Brodney. On Tuesdays, you can find me at 8 p.m. with my man, Mr. Galloway, on Electric Relaxation with Mr. Galloway, talking all things hip-hop. Then at 9 p.m., you can find myself, Brodney, and Suge Knight 323 on Suge Knight 323's channel doing the Steel Conspiracy. Steel Claw. But it is the Steel Conspiracy. It is Saturday night for the patrons. You can catch me on Hanging with Hendo, where it's a show for the patrons, by the patrons. The patrons come on and we just discuss different things. And actually, I think I'm dropping my first mock draft this week, maybe tomorrow. One of the picks is going to upset some people, and one of the picks is actually me picking an enemy. Because damn, that boy's fast. Whew.
From Miami?
Yes.
I don't know who fast from Miami, and I'm a fan. Okay. Well, I can't wait on that. I can't wait on that.
Yeah, it's got a position that some people seem to neglect and they don't really think about, which is running back, backup running back. Because we got Derrick Henry.
Parrish.
I think you're gonna say long snapper.
I'm sorry. My bad, Hendo.
Punt returner.
Nah.
Those things are gonna come back and come in handy. Those things will come back in handy soon.
Yeah.
Jose and B.
Yes, we are the Lunch Break Hot Take. We do a live show every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by the Overtime Show, which you can find on our Patreon at patreon.com/LBHT Show. And you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT Show. Also, Ring Kings Podcast, if you happen to love boxing like we do. It's been a few weeks since we put out our last video, but another one's going to be dropping soon. Okay, just had a big fight card over the weekend. Very entertaining card. Myself, B, and OTR Mike will be covering that and talking about upcoming fights. You got Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia on the cusp. So we'll be discussing that and more. So follow us at Ring Kings Pod, all your socials, and Ring Kings Podcast is the podcast. You can find us on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hold on, I'm linking everybody. I'm linking everything. I should have did this beforehand, but
no good.
And
also, we all have goals that we're trying to reach here. So if you have not subscribed to us, we're all trying to hit milestones. It only takes a second. So please just hit that button.
I think like one away for 400 on Ring King. So somebody go over there and subscribe so we can get 400.
And like 4 away from 1900.
We're 4 away from 1900 on Lunch Break Hot Take.
Everybody,
we're 104 from 2000. That's what we're trying to hit. 2000.
Make it happen.
Everybody's link is in the description now. So no excuse not to go do that. So if you're in here, go do that. And I've given points out. I just didn't announce it, but I gave out 25, 50, 75, and 100. So that thing is still going strong. We're going to make it, it's going to be a little longer. So we give everybody the opportunity to hit the points. So we may do like 2 month things instead of a month like we did because, views go down when we out of the season. Yeah. But we still going to keep this thing rolling. Go over, subscribe to More Sip the Talent. We closing in on 1,000. I think I'm like a little bit over 800, I think. So we're closing in on 1,000. Just got to get to 1,000 and get the watch hours up. And then we'll be there because this summer was gonna pop back off again. The power rankings.
Yes, sir.
All the moving and shaking go on before I can start doing my homework, but it's definitely going to be different. I think it's gonna be better. And I said I was going to kind of give the quarterbacks a little bit more leeway, I think I'm gonna pull back on it. I think, but I may go back into it because it depends. Because I don't want to overvalue some quarterback rooms and then devalue some.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still in leeway on how I'm gonna do the quarterback position. Because even though they matter so much, I don't want to overvalue them either. And a team that got a really good quarterback, they get higher grades, but the rest of their team suck.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do that part of it. But this has been the Ravens Roundup for April Fool's Day, April 1st, 2024. I appreciate everybody for coming out. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us. And I appreciate you guys, man. We'll see y'all throughout the week on our different shows. And make sure you come out and support. Buy merch, join Patreon, do all that you do. And we appreciate and love all y'all, man. We'll see y'all soon. We out.
Peace.
Peace.
We out soon.